just finished meeting for intonation practice on June 12th, and we started with some sentences that have a BR combination to have more practice with burr and also spur. So I'm looking for a brown bedspread. Brown bedspread. I'm using the adjective. I'm emphasizing the adjective and looking instead of looking. You can make it more casual and say looking, and your tongue ends in the front. Fura instead of fora. Brown bedspread. You won't release the D sound in bed or in spread. And I'm going to do this one and then do the BR pronunciation. There's a free breakfast in the lobby. There's free breakfast in the lobby. Breakfast in the. So with the BR combination, you can make your R position first before you release your lips with the B. So brown, my tongue is already curled back and I'm pulling it down and back so that it has room to not touch the roof of my mouth. So I'm already ready for the R, brr, while my lips are closed, and then brr, brr. I'm already, as soon as I open my lips, my tongue's already making the R, so there's no delay, like burr. But also, I'm not touching the top of my mouth with the tongue, and that would sound like brown, brown. Brr, brr, brr. If you hear that it's your tongue touching the top of the mouth, so that means your tongue needs to be pulled down and back a little bit lower, so you have room. Brown. I'm going up for the N. Brown. And bedspread. This is a PR combination, and it's the same situation. When I'm making my S, spur. As I'm closing my lips for the P, my tongue's back for the R. Spread. Spread. Bedspread. And breakfast. It looks like fast, but we always say fist. So it sounds like fist. Breakfast. 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 We'll do the rest when we get to those. Aren't I nice? You can drop the T because it's coming after the N. Your tongue already goes to the N position. Aren't I? And you can just drop the T. Aren't I nice? Because it's a yes, no question. But you can also say the T. It's not wrong. Aren't I? Aren't I nice? No problem. Drop the T. Aren't I nice? What'd he say he's gonna do about it? I added this invisible W because when your lips are going from a rounded do to an unrounded about, doa, it'll sound like a W if you're rounding your lips for do. So what'dy, this is a good example of getting rid of the H in a pronoun. You can do that with he, him, his, her, and them. What'dy. So now the D connects to the E and it will sound like what'dy. What'd he say he's gonna do about it? What'd he say he's gonna do about it? Do about it. This T changes to a D, and that's helpful because you can use that do about it in lots of different situations. So, well, what do you want to do about it? What'd he say he's gonna do about it? What'd he say he's gonna do about it? And this is something we can do with speech that we can't do in writing, making all these contractions. We can say she'd have, but we wouldn't write it this way, but you can say it this way. Wouldn't have, instead of wouldn't have, make it shorter, wouldn't have. So she'd have known, she wouldn't have. So just the word wouldn't by itself, you're not going to hear a D or a T. You're going to have your tongue go up for the D position, would, and then hold it there. Don't release it. Wouldn't. Wouldn't. This is the syllabic N, where the N becomes a syllable by itself. And if you release your D, it'll sound like wouldn't. Wouldn't. Because I'm releasing and putting it back, and the air comes out. But don't move it. Don't let the air come out. Wouldn't. Wouldn't. And the same. Shouldn't. And the same. Couldn't. Wouldn't. Shouldn't. Couldn't. Cotton is here because it's a good example of a syllabic end and it's a common word. So cotton, cotton. And then we did should've, could've, would've, which nobody really says those V's. We just drop them and make an sound. So you do release the D. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. I should have stayed home will now sound like I shoulda. I should have stayed home. All right, back to if she'd have known, she wouldn't have agreed to it. She wouldn't have agreed to it. You can say to it or do it, doesn't matter. If she'd have known, she wouldn't have agreed to it. And we didn't get this one, and we didn't get this one. We didn't get this one. So we skipped to this one as another do about it. What are you going to do about it? Looks like that, but what are you? We can say what are ya or whatcha. And I just opted for what are ya because it really does demonstrate how no matter what vowel sound it looks like or it could sound like if you were pronouncing things perfectly, it will often just change to So remember the default position for the tongue in American English is right here in the middle, like up. So the tongue is pulled back a little bit, but your tongue is low in the center. If it's a little too high in the center, it'll sound more like ah, 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 I'm really pushing it down for the and that's what you need. What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? I'll make this longer. I didn't rewrite it because there weren't many connections and there weren't many sound changes. So there's time online will connect. Makes sense. You just make one S sound instead of stopping. It makes sense. Just keep your tongue moving. It makes sense. You have to watch my accent and say sense. We spend so much time online. It makes sense that people can become famous that way. We spend so much time online, it makes sense that people can become famous that way. And celebrities, the pronunciation is celebrities. Some celebrities behave poorly and don't set a good example for young people. The connections and don't, you'll just hear one D. So and don't. Saida, this T changes to a D. Good example will connect. That's really the only connections. Some celebrities behave poorly and don't set a good example for young people. And that's all we got. That's we did a lot of practicing and focusing on stretching and the pronunciation of BR and wouldn't, uh, oh, shoulda, woulda. Okay, I'll do them again without talking in between. I'm looking for a brown bedspread. There's free breakfast in the lobby. Aren't I nice? What'd he say he's gonna do about it? If she'd have known, she wouldn't have agreed to it. What are you gonna do about it? We spend so much time online, it makes sense that people can become famous that way. Some celebrities behave poorly and don't set a good example for young people. And words brown, bedspread, breakfast, wouldn't, cotton, shouldn't, couldn't, shoulda, coulda, woulda. I got through it just before I had to cough and I could hit the mute button. That was good timing. All right. Thank you. I hope this was helpful. Please let me know if it is. I have enjoyed hearing your comments when you tell me that it is helpful. So thank you. I'm glad. And let me know where you're from. It's also interesting to hear where people are watching from. Thanks. Have a good day or good evening.